Hey there. To hear. I've asked my good friend Henry to do a talk on complex trauma and needs, and also on parenting and reparenting. Henry will summarize how leading complex trauma expert Tim Fletcher deals with it. Take it away, Henry.
Hello. Thank you, T. I am drawing from the extensive work of Tim Fletcher, who has produced hours of detailed content on these crucial topics. What I'm sharing with you today is my summary of his insights, distilled into what I believe are the most essential points for understanding child development and healing in relation to complex trauma.
My name is Henry Woodhouse, and in the next 2 videos we're going to explore something absolutely fundamental to being human, something vital for every parent, every future parent, and honestly for anyone who's ever been a child. We're going to dive into what children truly need to grow up healthy, strong, and well-adjusted, not just physically, but deep down in their minds and hearts.
Let's jump right in with a simple idea. Just like a plant needs water, sunlight, and good soil to flourish, children need certain things to thrive emotionally and psychologically. These are what we call our basic human needs. When these needs are consistently met, children blossom. But when they're not, that can unfortunately lead to some deep, lasting problems. When we hear the word trauma, most of us picture big, dramatic events, right? Things like a terrible accident, a natural disaster, or a specific act of violence. And yes, absolutely, those are incredibly traumatic. But there's another kind of trauma, a quieter one, that often goes unnoticed because it's not a single, shocking event. It's more like a steady drip, drip, drip of things not happening that should have. Or sometimes things happening repeatedly that absolutely shouldn't have. This is what we call complex trauma, or CPTSD, and we'll talk more about how it develops if these needs are consistently unmet. So, why are these needs so incredibly powerful in shaping us? Well, a child's brain and their personality are like a construction site that's buzzing with activity. Especially in those early years, everything is being built at tremendous speed. The experiences a child has, or doesn't have, literally wire their brain and shape their deepest beliefs about themselves and the world around them. Let me use an analogy here. Imagine you're building a house. When a child's needs are met, it's like using high-quality materials, following excellent blueprints, and having skilled, consistent builders on the job. The foundation is strong, the walls are sturdy, the roof doesn't leak. What happens? That child develops a strong sense of self-worth, learns to trust others, and develops the ability to handle life's challenges down the road. They learn, deep down, that they are worthy of love, that the world is a reasonably safe place, and that they can rely on others, and importantly, on themselves. But if a child's needs are not consistently met, it's like trying to build that same house with flimsy materials, maybe missing some vital support beams, or starting with a shaky foundation. The house might look okay on the outside for a while, but it's fragile. Over time, those cracks start to appear, things fall apart easily. This child might grow up feeling worthless, struggling to trust anyone, having a tough time with their emotions, and often feeling unsafe in the world. Their inner blueprint, that basic operating system for how they navigate life, has been built with some significant flaws. And it's important to remember, the way parents or primary caregivers respond to these needs directly shapes this blueprint. We're not talking about being perfect parents, because none of us are. It's about being good enough and consistently striving to meet these fundamental requirements. That's what good parenting means in this context, providing those essential emotional and relational nutrients a child needs to thrive. It's the most powerful prevention against complex trauma you could ever imagine. All right, so if these needs are so important, what exactly are they? There are 12 of them that researchers and experts in trauma, like Tim Fletcher, have highlighted as critical. Today, we're going to focus on 8 of these foundational ones. These are often the ones we talk about first when we consider what a child absolutely must have to thrive. Let me dive into each of these 8 vital needs. I'll explain each one, why it's so important, and what happens if it's consistently missed. First, safety. A child needs to feel physically and emotionally safe from harm, neglect, chaos, and abuse. This means having a stable environment, consistent care, and being protected from frightening situations. Think about a child who has a parent who is often drunk and yelling, or perhaps a home that's constantly unpredictable due to fighting. They don't feel safe. This is crucial because safety is the absolute baseline. Without it, a child's brain stays in constant fight or flight mode, always on alert, making it almost impossible to relax, learn, and grow normally. If this need is unmet, it often leads to chronic anxiety, being constantly on edge and difficulty trusting others, even feeling unsafe when there's no actual danger. Second, acceptance. This means a child needs to be loved, valued, and accepted for who they are, including all their quirks, feelings, and imperfections. It's about being seen as inherently good and worthy, just as they are. Imagine a child who loves to draw, but their parent constantly criticizes their artwork or wishes they were better at sports instead. This is crucial because it builds self-esteem and a secure sense of self. It teaches a child they are lovable, just as they are. If this is unmet, it can lead to deep feelings of shame, inadequacy, and constantly trying to be someone they're not, just to gain approval from others. Third, belonging. A child needs to feel like they are part of a family, a community, or a group, that they fit in and are connected. Think of a child who feels like an outsider in their own family, perhaps because they're always compared to a sibling or never included in family decisions. This is vital because humans are fundamentally social creatures. Belonging provides a sense of community, a shared identity, and it powerfully reduces feelings of isolation. If this is unmet, it can lead to deep loneliness, social anxiety, feeling like an outsider no matter where they are, and difficulty forming deep, meaningful connections. Fourth, validation. This is about a child needing to have their feelings, thoughts, and experiences acknowledged, understood, and taken seriously, even if the parent doesn't necessarily agree with them. It's about saying, "I hear you, I see you, and your feelings make sense." For example, if a child is sad because their toy broke and a parent says, "Oh, don't be silly, it's just a toy," that's a lack of validation. Instead, validation sounds like, "I can see you're upset about your toy breaking. That was special to you." This is crucial because it teaches a child that their inner world matters. It helps them understand their own emotions and builds emotional intelligence. If this is unmet, it can lead to questioning one's own reality, having difficulty identifying their feelings, suppressing emotions, and generally feeling profoundly misunderstood. Fifth, support. A child needs to know there's someone reliable there to help them, encourage them, protect them, and advocate for them when they need it. Think of a child struggling with homework who receives no help, or a child being bullied who feels their parents won't stand up for them. This is crucial because it builds trust in others and a powerful sense of security. It teaches a child they're not alone, and that help is available when they need it. If this is unmet, it often leads to feeling isolated, being self-reliant to an extreme fault, difficulty asking for help, and a deep-seated belief that they must face everything completely alone. Sixth, guidance. A child needs gentle instruction, clear and consistent boundaries, and appropriate teaching on how to navigate the world, solve problems, manage their emotions, and make good choices. An example might be a parent who never sets bedtimes, never teaches about money management, or lets a child do whatever they want without consequences. Another example is a parent who teaches their child, "When you're angry, take 3 deep breaths before you speak. Or, here's how we treat people with respect. This is crucial because it helps a child develop vital life skills, self-control, and a strong moral compass. It's how a child learns how to adult. If this is unmet, it can lead to impulsive behavior, poor decision-making, difficulty with self-discipline, and often feeling lost or directionless in life. 7th, independence or autonomy. As they grow, a child needs age-appropriate opportunities to explore, make their own choices, express their individuality, and develop a sense of self that is separate from their parents. This means allowing a teenager to choose their own clothes, or a child to decide what game they want to play, within reasonable limits. It also means not doing everything for them, letting a 10-year-old pack their own school bag or make their own sandwich. This is crucial because it fosters self-reliance, confidence, and a strong personal identity. It's how a child learns who they are. If this is unmet, it can lead to difficulty making decisions later in life, fear of failure, sometimes extreme rebelliousness, or, conversely, extreme compliance, and a very shaky sense of self.
And finally, the 8th need, and this one is so important: unconditional love. A child needs to experience consistent, reliable, and unconditional affection, warmth, and acceptance, not just for what they do, but simply for who they are. It's a deep sense of being cherished, no matter what. This means loving a child even when they make mistakes, when they're challenging, when they disappoint you. It's saying, "I love you," when they've just broken something valuable, not just when they've won an award. This is crucial because it's the overarching need that underpins all the others. It creates secure attachment and provides the emotional fuel for all healthy development. If this is unmet, it can lead to attachment issues in adulthood, difficulty forming intimate relationships, chronic feelings of emptiness, and a constant, often desperate, search for external validation. So, these 8 needs — safety, acceptance, belonging, validation, support, guidance, independence, and unconditional love — are the foundational building blocks for a healthy mind and spirit. When they're consistently provided, children develop a deep sense of security and self-worth. When they're consistently missed, it can lead to deep internal wounds and the complex trauma we discussed. In our next talk, we're going to explore the remaining 4 vital needs, and then we'll dive into a powerful path to healing for those of us who didn't get this blueprint built perfectly. It's called reparenting, and it offers genuine hope for adults carrying the weight of unmet childhood needs. Thank you. I look forward to continuing this conversation with you. See more content on T's channel, and check out Tim Fletcher as well.